ऐसे एरा में हैं जहां पे कोई भी बिजनेस डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के बिना नहीं चल सकता या आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता. Such is the importance of digital transformation. But what does that mean? You know, we're getting all this data through various tools. What do we do with it? How do we make it work for our small or medium-sized business? That's exactly what we're discussing in our next keynote. Our speaker is Vrinda Agarwal, Associate Vice President Marketing at IGP. She has extensive expertise in customer lifecycle management and a proven track record in driving customer engagement for various direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands. Vrinda has been pivotal in scaling businesses, optimizing operations, and nurturing high-performance teams. It's over to you, Vrinda. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thanks. I work with a company called Joint Ventures. We have 5 brands under the umbrella. 2 of the brands are in celebratory ecosystem. They are mass brands. One of the brand is more in the lifestyle celebration ecosystem. And other 2 brands are into the B2B space. I'm here to give you the insights that we have developed over the years, how to leverage data to unlock the profits as well as the business growth. I really hope that you guys are Sherlock Holmes fans because you are really in for a treat. So as Sherlock Holmes' favorite quote is, nothing that ever happens is new. If you know your history well, you'll always make out the patterns which are happening in future. It's the very same story that you have with the business data. If you have been collecting, analyzing, and taking time to see the trends over a long period of time, you would always be able to discover the changes in the trends, customer choices, preferences, or behaviors, which will help you understand what next is coming for you. Where I started this journey 7 years ago with my organization, all of us sitting in a room with different teams, and not one team could agree upon a consistent definition of even what is a customer for us, or what are the major business matrices that should be monitored and taken into account when we are taking business decisions. So we literally hired one junior person to make a dashboard on Excel for us, where his job was to tabulate between 15 to 20 marketing-related data metrics every day by doing this a manual job. Why we were in this dilemma, or why most of the small and medium-scale businesses are in the dilemma on retention, business analytics, or what data to consider or what not. The way I have experienced it, it's actually 3 problems. One is when we encounter a business problem or a change or a shift which we were not expecting, we start analyzing the data, and most of the time we do not have the data bytes available. So we start collecting the data. So the entire process is very arbitrary. It's also on a very queue-based method. You need it today, you will do it. You don't need it tomorrow, you won't do it. Second is inability to define their data. So going back to our example, when we were asking, who is a customer for us? Now, a business exists for a customer, but internal teams can't even agree upon a customer definition. And then it continues with every data parameter that any of the teams would be talking. So set definitions are required at a business level and a team level at a consistent and constant degree. And last is, we have picked up the business metrics which either do not scale or are not that much relevant for our business, but we have heard or read that these are the parameters that any big company would do. So just a snapshot, I believe all of you would be aware around the terms like ROAS, COA, and CAC. Now, for the non-marketing backgrounds, all these 3 terms are used to define your ad budget spends across channels. But which of the parameter or a term you should be chasing for your own business metric or for a single channel really depends on your business goals, what is it that you are trying to achieve, and what is the channel mix that you are using. Similarly, like CLTV, it's like customer life cycle time value, but every business caters or defines the structure as per their own needs. So the first step to start on the journey of becoming a data-centric team and an organization is sit and define everything, right from who is a customer to the parameters that you are using, defining the basic definitions of the business logics that you are putting and the goals for which you are measuring them, and do this consistently over time. So if original metrics is defined, start collecting the data continuously. Don't be in a hurry to change that original metrics. So taking one by one, when I say know your customers, so the first principle, you should know who is a new customer and an old customer for you. Now, I'll tell you in our company how this definition was changing for different teams. When you ask a marketing team, they would say an old customer for me is the one which Google tells me that they are my old customers, and a new customer is the one which Google defines it's a new customer. Now, how Google defines a old or new, that is a cookie-based definition. So if me as a visitor has been on the site and my cookie is saved, next time when I'm visiting that brand site, I'll be an old customer. If that cookie is not saved, I'm a new. So anybody who is doing the website visit in a do not track environment or on iOS would eventually always be a new customer for you as per a Google definition. But that's what marketing team believed. When you ask business team will say anybody who has placed single order with me is my old customer. Anybody who hasn't placed an order with me is my new customer. But we have been in business for 15 years. We have represented the business. And hence, those business definitions were time sensitive, that anybody that we acquired post 2017 for us would be the new customer. And if they did a second order after 2017, they became the old customer. But when you ask from a technology team who has been maintaining this data for 15 years for us, everybody who is existing in that 15-year database was an old customer for them. Anybody who was signing up new will become a new customer. So it's three teams within the same company dealing with the same set of business objectives. They had their definition differently. And then all the decisions which are there, the way you will structure your CRM systems to marketing systems, to even the share of your ad spends on old and new would be drastically different. So we actually sat down and defined, this is what we will call as an old customer, this is what we will call as a new customer. Second, know the definitions of the customer or the business metrics that you are choosing to evaluate over time. Where do they add in your business objective? The foremost business objective is obviously making profit, increasing revenue. So you should know whether this metric is adding to your top line, which means it's bringing in additional revenue or profits for you, or whether it's a part of your bottom line, which means it's a cost saving or a cost driving feature that you are measuring. Now, here also there are a lot of changes which happens at a business level, even within the same industry. For example, a lot of marketing teams today would calculate their total revenue or total profitable section of the customer after excluding the discount that they have given to the customer, because it becomes a net revenue for them. Perfectly okay, which means that the top line is already exclusive of discount. But a lot of companies would include discount within the top revenue. They would not take the net revenue, they would take the gross revenue of the customer because that's a GMV for them. But they would take the discount as part of the cost of doing business with those customers. Now, both the approaches are fine. The problem is if within the same organization there's an inconsistency where that discount is getting added. Your P&L sheets would never match across teams otherwise. Similarly, most of the business metrics can be plugged with top line or bottom line, but you have to define that for your business. You have to actually communicate the same to your teams as well. How this kind of a change in the data parameters helped us in real life. We have been doing a data analysis for all the marketing campaigns now for 7 years since that first start out on Excel for us. And it has helped us over time to identify small growth areas which happens with small trends or festivals which will come up. It also helped us to reanalyze the advertising spends which are going across different channels as the customer behavior has changed. And it also helped us to develop new product lines, features, or service modules for the customer as the time and the behavior of the customer changed with us. Third, very important, whatever metrics has been decided, it should be maintained and collected over time. Collection of that data or metrics should not be dependent on a single person or a team being in the system. It's an organizational priority, which means irrespective of the person who started that process or irrespective of the person who is helping you collect it today or the team which is helping you collect that today or even the tool which is helping you collect it today, it should continue for the business as long the business is there. So, as I said, we started with a single spreadsheet. We started using the calculations like CLTV for us, COA for us, CAC for us, and we still maintain that original sheet even after moving to a lot of sophisticated dashboards and modules internally. So overall, 7 years later, today we have 3 separate data teams working with us. One for the data science and AI ML developments, another one who looks after only marketing analytics and customer related requirements. Third one which looks after the bottom line related calculations across the businesses. We maintain all those sheets very consistently. We still go back to our original first dashboard that we started because trust me, a lot of insights still come when you see your data collectively done over 7 years on every single day than what you can get in the most of the sophisticated dashboards available which you have just started using. Third is getting teams to learn and know the patterns of your data is a time-taking process. When you keep changing the dashboards or the modules or the definitions, your team also do not learn the long trends information about those sets. If you continue having certain original dashboards, that nature of being data first actually percolates down to the grassroots level. So one takeaway that I would suggest, start today, start now, and start with very basic. If you are in a small segment and you feel that having a very sophisticated tool or a large team doesn't justify you, that's perfectly okay. Start taking it at the manual level the way you can do it. Trust me, when your business expands and you are sitting when you need the most sophisticated tool, those sheets that you have collected very diligently over the time, they will the first data set migrated to any of the automation platforms and help you structure the entire requirements from an automation platform as well. Thanks a lot. It's nice to be here.
Thank you very much indeed, Vrinda, for all of those insights. So it's not just about how you collect the data over various years, but how you can keep revisiting it and see how it's evolved to better your business. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd be able to take about 2 questions. If you can move to this side of the room, can we get a mic here, please? Requesting you to please keep your questions short.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful insight. My query is, in the beginning when we start, the data structure that we start with and later on we move, the data structure keeps on changing. So how do we maintain that balance? What is important, what is not important, what to keep, what not to keep?
Okay, so when you are starting, start with the data metrics that you would use in a layman language or when you are sitting with your team and asking the questions about it. For example, if you're from marketing team, the biggest question for you would be, how much money am I spending to get my customers? How much money am I spending to get my new customers? If that's a relevant question, then take those parameters and put it in that Excel or wherever you are logging your data. Continue doing that. As you grow in the process, you will definitely add much more terms, much more information within inside. But the beauty of most of the data analytics solution as well as Excel is that it can be multiplied, or it can, a lot of rows and columns and the numbers can be added. Emphasis is that the initial figures that you started with, maintain them and log them still, even if you have moved to a more sophisticated tool. So for example, the numbers or the 15 columns that we started in our Excel, that entire sheet has now morphed to about 100 columns. But those 15 columns we still maintain in the same process. If we have shifted from a tool, for example, the major transition which has happened in the past is GA itself, GA Universal Analytics shifted to GA4. So earlier you were seeing data at a customer level, now you are seeing it at an event level. It's a major structure. But then we identified that something like GA Universal, if a customer is doing 3 events, we did all those internal adjustments to help us to make the GA data also meaningful that we have collected in the past, but still be able to tie up with the GA4 event level data. So once the teams are there, they know how to morph that data in a different, because it's all a mathematical equation. But main idea is that the patterns are consistently available for you.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Can we get to the next question? Just one question there. Yes.
Radhe Radhe everyone. My name is Aarti and I'm also into marketing. So my question to you is that what kind of tools that we have to use except Excel? So what is any other tool for a small or a mid-sized company that should go for that, maintaining the database if the person is not very keen to go with Excel sheet?
So the choice of tools I would suggest for any business should be dependent where are you generating your data. So a lot of small and medium scale businesses would have entire financial information available on Tele for them. A lot of customer related information would be sitting in other invoicing or Shopify kind of plugins. So in such cases, any Power BI or a visualization tool works very good for you because it's able to combine multiple source data into one view. If as a business you are very heavily dependent on Google and Meta ecosystems to drive and engage and get the customers, then any product analytics solution which has a plug and play module with GA as well as your Meta, or if you are an app company, then obviously Firebase and Apple Store, any product analytics solution will help you to get that data insight within it and then use the visualization tools to make your automated dashboards across.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you for articulating that, and great insights to your questions, audience. Please give it up for Vrinda Agarwal as I invite on stage Khushbu and Surabhi to present Vrinda with a small memento. Thank you for being here. We really have enjoyed listening to you, and I think you shared some very meaningful tools. जिससे हमें actually impact पड़ेगा. We can go back and put that into application. Thank you, Vrinda.